Palantir is helping the United States stop the military expansion of China, which in the view of the American government is the only country with intent and power to undermine American national security. To prevent Beijing from posing a threat to the United States, Washington has been relying on the network of allies and partners across the Indo-Pacific to increase its presence there and deter the Chinese aggression in the region. While Beijing has been increasing its military spending, building new alliances, and expanding its influence in the region lately, the American strategy of deterring China so far has been working in the recent decades. To ensure that it continues to work, the American government relies on private and public companies to achieve its national security objectives in the region. One such company is Palantir, which in recent years gained prominence after making deals to deploy its AI software to the CIA, the NSA, the United States Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, and the Space Force. The biggest advantage of Palantir is the ability to collect, analyze, and organize large sets of data with the help of artificial intelligence and turn that data into actionable insights. Thanks to its algorithms and unique AI software, Palantir has been able to track the movement of Chinese Navy ships in real time, helped private businesses move their supply chains out of China, and is currently working with the American allies to help them and the United States prevent the aggressive expansion of China in the Indo-Pacific region. What made Palantir an important actor in executing Washington's national security strategy is its battle-tested software, which gives it a clear edge over competitors. In Afghanistan and Iraq, the United States Marines deployed Palantir software to analyze data and predict the areas of possible insurgent attacks. There are speculations that the company also helped the United States find out the exact location of Osama bin Laden in Pakistan in 2011. After Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Palantir's CEO Alex Karp personally visited Ukraine and became the first executive from a major public company to meet President Zelensky and discuss close cooperation between Palantir and Ukraine. Since that meeting, Palantir has expanded its presence on the ground, and today its software helps Ukrainians track Russian ships, tanks, and planes in real time, which allows the Ukrainian military to precisely target Russian forces. Alex Karp himself later admitted that Palantir is now responsible for most of the targeting in Ukraine, which shows how vital their software has become on the front lines. Following its success in Ukraine, Palantir later became the Pentagon's only supplier of an AI targeting system known as Project Maven, which aims to combine data from satellites and radar systems and analyze it automatically to quickly identify important military targets. This makes it possible for the system to spot significant changes on the ground, like China preparing an attack on Taiwan, and quickly provide options on how to react. Last year, Project Maven has been used by the United States to locate the enemy positions in Yemen and helped narrow down target strikes in Iraq and Syria. Then recently, NATO awarded Palantir a contract to integrate the Maven system within the structure of NATO's Allied Command Operations, which should enhance NATO's battlefield operations and make the alliance more responsive to modern threats. At the same time, as China grows more aggressive and pushes to expand its influence, especially in the Indo-Pacific, Palantir's advanced algorithms become more than just tools, and the company itself now plays an important part in securing the United States national security in the region, but that was not the case a few years ago. One of the biggest reasons why Palantir has become so important to the United States is because the country has started to lose its deterrence capabilities over the past decade. Palantir's CEO Alex Karp believes that at this point the United States is increasingly likely to face direct conflict with Russia, China, and Iran. This is because the American enemies no longer fear the consequences of their actions. Palantir's leadership argues that for decades, the United States and its allies operated under a dangerous illusion that large-scale wars were a thing of the past. But Russia has shattered that illusion time and again. In 2008, Moscow invaded Georgia and seized territory it still controls. In 2014, it escalated by invading Ukraine and illegally annexing Crimea. Then in 2020, it sent soldiers into Belarus to support a loyal regime. None of these actions were isolated incidents, as they were part of a deliberate long-term strategy. It is important to remember that since the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russian leaders and military thinkers have openly discussed restoring the former Soviet borders and preparing for potential conflict with NATO to reclaim their sphere of influence. Yet despite these signals, Western governments continue to engage with Moscow, even approving major infrastructure projects that deepen their dependence on Russian oil and gas. It wasn't until 2022, when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, that economic ties had finally reached a breaking point. At the same time, in China, under Xi Jinping's leadership, Beijing has also dramatically expanded its military power. Its defense budget has doubled, making it the second largest in the world. China's navy is now the largest by the number of ships, and its air force has advanced fighter jets and long-range missile capabilities. In the South China Sea, Beijing has created artificial military bases, complete with runways, radar installations, and missile systems. All of this points to the fact that Xi Jinping's objective is to challenge the American dominance and ultimately reshape the global balance of power. Since Russia also shares that objective, both countries in 2014 decided to deepen their political, economic, and military ties. After Russia annexed Crimea, Moscow turned to Beijing and signed a $400 billion natural gas deal that solidified their energy partnership. Their militaries now conduct joint exercises on land, sea, and air, including patrols over the Sea of Japan and the East China Sea. This partnership has evolved beyond symbolism. It now poses a direct challenge to the Western-led global order, with Russia providing military power and China supplying economic and technological strength. When it comes to Iran, which Alex Karp views as another threat to the United States, its nuclear ambitions and leadership of the axis of resistance pose a serious threat to global stability and American influence. Despite years of diplomacy, Tehran has enriched uranium close to weapons-grade levels. Beyond its nuclear program, Iran supports a vast network of proxies across the Middle East, including Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and Shia militias in Iraq. For years, these proxies have disrupted vital trade routes, clashed with Saudi Arabia and Israel, which are key American allies in the region, and launched drone attacks on oil facilities, missile strike on US bases, and interfered with shipping in the Red Sea, all while Tehran maintained plausible deniability. Iran has also signed major economic and security deals with both Russia and China, trading its support for protection, as part of a broader effort to undermine American leadership. That is why it's not a surprise that Palantir's leadership believes that the root of all of this is the loss of deterrence by the West, since its adversaries no longer fear the consequences of their actions. This is because after the Cold War, complacency took hold, leading to cuts in defense spending and an over-reliance on trade and diplomacy. But recent events aren't isolated. They highlight a reality where the United States and its allies no longer project credible strength, and this is becoming a major issue for the West. Palantir's solution to this crisis of deterrence is simple. Use the software to cut the government bureaucracy and integrate advanced civilian technology directly into the defense sector. This approach is similar to China's civil-military fusion strategy, where companies like Huawei, Alibaba, and Baidu are tightly integrated into state-led efforts to modernize the military, especially in AI, semiconductors, and advanced manufacturing. After all, Palantir already proved that this approach works in the West as well. Its partnerships with pharmaceutical companies have accelerated drug development by using AI to uncover insights from massive datasets. In the financial sector, Palantir has helped banks strengthen their fraud detection systems and improve security. During the pandemic, the company's software was used by private businesses to optimize disrupted supply chains, ensuring products reach consumers despite global chaos. This experience allows Palantir to bring commercial innovation into the national security space, something few defense contractors can offer. And this is one of the main reasons why Palantir now plays an important role in securing the United States national security. At the same time, Palantir is now also actively collaborating with leading space and tech companies like SpaceX and Anduril to deepen its role in US national security. Together, those companies formed a partnership aimed at developing solutions for missile tracking and targeting, an area once dominated by legacy defense giants like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. This new tech-driven alliance is now also a frontrunner to help build the Golden Dome missile defense shield that should protect the United States from potential missile strikes from China. All of this points to the fact that Palantir and its CEO Alex Karp are positioning the company for what they see as a new Cold War era, which is defined by strategic competition with authoritarian powers like China. That's why Palantir is focused on giving the United States and its allies the technology they need to handle today's global challenges. This vision also aligns closely with the US national defense strategy, which identifies China as the remain long-term threat and underscores the importance of building strong regional alliances. At the heart of this strategy is the island chain defense strategy, designed to contain China's expansion by reinforcing US military presence and coordination with key allies such as Japan, South Korea, Australia, and Taiwan. The goal is to build a solid defense system that deters Chinese aggression, ensures freedom of navigation, and preserves a favorable balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. Thanks to its experience in the past, it is not a surprise that Palantir plays an important role in this strategy, and it is currently one of the companies that tracks the Chinese naval movements in real time to keep track of Chinese actions. And as the United States extends its strategic reach beyond the first island chain into the second island chain, Palantir's software plays an important role in maintaining military readiness there as well. At the same time, the United States is also expanding its presence in the region through new agreements with Pacific nations like Palau, Micronesia, the Marshall Islands, and Papua New Guinea, giving American forces access to important airfields and ports. But to operate effectively from these locations, the military needs secure, well-integrated command and control systems, and that's exactly the kind of infrastructure Palantir provides. On top of that, to counter China's expanding influence even more, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia formed AUKUS partnership in 2021, which includes equipping Australia with nuclear-powered submarines to strengthen patrols across the Pacific. It is possible that Palantir's software also plays a part in supporting this security alliance by improving submarine tracking, enhancing threat detection, and enabling seamless coordination during joint operations. All of this is done to maintain a fragile but important status quo in the Indo-Pacific. If China were to break through the first and second island chains, it could threaten Hawaii and even the continental United States. That's why Palantir's software helps the US and its allies stay ahead, stop threats, and keep peace in the Indo-Pacific to protect American interests. While under the second Trump administration, the United States is preparing to write a new national defense strategy. It is expected to embrace a clear peace through strength approach, emphasizing that only credible deterrence can prevent conflict with China and other adversaries. It seems that Palantir can provide that deterrence. After all, by improving real-time threat detection, coordination across agencies, and rapid response capabilities, Palantir already helps the United States maintain the strategic edge needed to deter China's growing ambitions and, if necessary, prevail in any future confrontation. As Palantir CEO Alex Karp once said, that their goal as a company is to help the United States and its allies avoid war, and the only way to do that is to project an overwhelming technological and strategic superiority that it would not be in the interest of American adversaries to disrupt the status quo.